That's it, and then all end on the second Who on that.
Okay. The second one. Okay.
Yeah. So this is just, I mean, the very last one at the end.
Right.
So we'll just try and get this right. This is a getting it right take.
Yeah, the getting it right. Yeah.
All right.
Where we're actually.
Are we off? Just great. Everyone's turned up. It was Michelle's idea, I called, do a few gigs to pay for it. With the core band of Scott, Bill, Peter and me, we're going to try and record and arrange some of this stuff. I've left a message for John Paul Jones and Bill Soyman, the High Street, this morning. Nick Lowe's going to pop in at various points. Chris Ballou, I've got to call back. He's in his Holiday Inn. Maurice Windsor will come down later to do harmonies.
The guys in my band just, you know, felt that they wanted a year off, and for me, taking a year off from music would be like taking a year off from breathing, you know? I mean, it's called death. You know, I can't do that. Robin and I have been working together for years, and it seemed like a perfect time. I finished the REM tour last summer, and Robin called up and said, oh, I was thinking maybe we could do a couple days recording in Seattle, and it just, you know, we made a record's worth of stuff in a couple days. It felt great. We kind of finished it off, and things started occurring. All of a sudden, it felt like, hey, you know, this is a real band. It feels like a band. We're playing like a band. You know, getting to spend a week in London is not a bad thing.
I don't really know what the words are. It's a downbeat. The beat comes down and you ride that monarch out of town. Everybody's pleased to be the person that they want to see. If you hit high piano, triplets up the top, it would sound good if I was not a piglet. Here comes the chorus. I'm gonna see.
If you're working with open-minded professionals who like to leap on the angles of chance and see where it takes them, it's fun. And I think it's just because they're so good that they like the risks and the excitement of going into something without preparing for it.
The fact that we're lucky enough to get to do this, you know, we get to still write these songs and play them. And, you know, sometimes that's its own reward. I don't think anyone in this group or anyone in this house today measures success by how many records you sold or how much money you've got in the bank.
Everyone else is a hollow bell except you. I'm gonna see you in the afterlife. I'm gonna see you in the afterlife. I'm gonna see you in the afterlife. Here comes Nero with his foot. He's someone good. He's made of soot. He's got you, and I have. It wasn't that great, so I won't sing it to you, but, you know, it's worth trying. You never know what's going to come up.
I tend to think that there are ways to approach subjects where the listener discovers what it's about without being beat over the head about it. I mean, honestly, for me, the more straightforward the song, the more it wears out for me after one or two plays. You know, you can always find depths in his stuff that, you know, like the 10th time you hear the record, you just go, oh, yeah, that's what that song's about. Or, I've never noticed that line before.
One of my favorite records of his has always been I Often Dream of Trains. So I would obviously recommend that to anyone.
I often dream of trains when I'm alone. I ride on them into another zone. I dream of them constantly, heading for paradise or Basingstoke or Reading.
For an American to listen to Robin's material and some of the things he writes about, you know, it's like, well, ooh, Basingstoke, that sounds mysterious. When, of course, it isn't at all.
Every once in a while. A
In a funny way, we're a little sort of micro family, really. We've been around the whole world backwards. We're all in a van. There's Peter with, you know, everything just squashed around him in a way that he couldn't possibly have with REM.
A whole load of nachos with cheese floating about somewhere. I remember there was like some cheese from...
Was it Tucson?
Maybe it was... We wouldn't have brought cheese back from Canada, would we?
Chicago?
Might have been Chicago cheese.
Chicago.
Yeah.
Welcome to the world of rock musicians on tour.
I don't
Where did
remember
the cheese
anything
come
about
from?
nachos.
Okay, so this is the legendary Maxwell's. I first played here in 1980 with the Soft Boys. Peter first played here in 1981 with REM. Scott played here in 85 with the Fellows, and Bill, it seems, has never played here.
I've played with some really great musicians and over the years, and done some very intense gigs with the Soft Boys and the Egyptians and all the other various chums, but I think this is just the most fun I've had. And you know, we're exploring interesting places, bombing around North America in a small van, which is stuff that we all did 20, 25 years ago. You know, some of us graduated to bigger vans, buses, you know, and some of us have just worked, but we've all worked our way back down again, you know. I would never have wanted to go around in a small van with the Soft Boys or the Egyptians, or no, you know, you needed the space that you have on a bus, and you know, it's just been us and Michelle and Brian, and it's a dream.
A trip like this, the ratio of music to bullshit, the music is a lot higher than it is on an REM tour. I just have to deal with such crap that it makes it kind of unpleasant, you know? The playing with REM is great, and I love the people I play with, but I just don't want to spend 4 hours a day shaking hands with people I don't know. You know, and with this kind of thing, I really don't have many responsibilities other than to show up and sound check and then do the show.
Doesn't feel like you're a backing musician or whatever necessarily, because we've been playing so many gigs together over the last year and a year and a half or so. It feels pretty band-like. You know?
Once we hit stage, all of us, it's, you know, we're there. We're there to play.